Hi everybody, and welcome to TFT Tarot for today, Divine Dabblings with Oberon and Banshee. This is me, Oberon, with my weekly segment, The Outlook on the Emotional Exchanges, where I pull a card for each of the Zodiac signs, my new format, and give them an idea about what the week holds ahead in the romance mostly, but also other relationships that may be important to you. Now I start this off with a collective reading, which I usually take from the Isis Tarot. And this is from my previous format show. I always started that with this. It's really more of an oracle deck. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now for us. And then we'll get started with the signs. And thank you for viewing today. This reading is good for Friday, October 1st through next Thursday, and that's the 7th. Alrighty. And now I pulled palm trees. That sounds nice. I'll put that right there. Number 30. A period to make good all of your talents. Work in plenty. Well, we hope so, right? We experience much good from our children. We are grateful for what we have achieved. And for those possibly who've been trying, it indicates fertility and pregnancy. So this is definitely keyed to the idea of course, the emotional aspects. So I'm thinking this is just saying this is really a productive and fertile time, emotionally speaking, for people to start or further their relationships. So now we're going to get started with the rest of the reading, and as I mentioned before, it's one card for each of the signs of the zodiac. And I wanted to mention that I'm using for this reading as, again, the Enchanted Tarot by Monty Farber and Amy Zerner. It's a wonderful oracle and tarot set, and I'm very happy to use it here. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And first we are pulling for Aries. And I have pulled the reversed King of Swords. And this would seem to indicate that in emotional matters, you may have to make some difficult choices in the week ahead. You may have to really choose between heart's desires that hold nearly equal weight in your heart. And so try to choose as fairly as possible. It looks to me like there's a lot of conflict with this. So good luck with that. And we're going to move on now to Taurus. And I have pulled Temperance, Major Arcana 14. Emotionally speaking, this is a great week for Taurus. They're really finding their flow and their ebb with their relationships, especially their strongest ones. They're really finding a way to be tender and moderate in all their proceedings, all the judgments or questions they're being asked or decisions to be made. So it's a really good week for Tauruses. And moving on to Gemini. Gemini has the reversed Queen of Wands. Gemini is having a little bit harder time this week trying to connect or reach out with people, mostly based on an emotional matter. It may be that Geminis have received some indications that they're not feeling, that make them not feel as magnetic or socially compelling as they may have thought themselves to be. It may just be an attitude thing more than a passing trend. But Geminis will be trying to reach out, but finding maybe mixed success with that. Okay, and then moving on to Cancers. And Cancer hit the jackpot. Cancer has the Lovers, Major Arcana 6. And Cancers will find that they are offered literally the things they want the most. And some are clearer choices than others. They are basically finding the choice they want, the clear choice for them, the choice of love. This could pertain to just regular emotional matters. So, for example, if there are decisions or things to be made with families, children, or parents, we're going the wise, more emotionally uplifting view or decision. So now we're going to move on to Leo. Leo has the Two of Wands upright. Leo, from an emotional point of view, considering their relationships or their loves, are in total control. That's the way Leo likes it. They feel that everything is just hand in hand. The world is their oyster. They can relax now. They feel they have achieved what their heart really wanted the most. And so now they are able to enjoy, really. So this is a great time for Leos. I hope this does pretend to you. It's almost as good of a jackpot as Cancer's card, the Lovers. So now we're going to move on to Virgo. For Virgo, I have picked Major Arcana 4, the Emperor. And Virgos, wow, this is such a great card for Virgos because it really sums up Virgos. They really are in control. They have complete power or authority or governmental situation over their romantic or emotional lives. You know this is true, Virgo. You really are the one sign, maybe other than Capricorn or some other sign, that really organizes well and has contingency plans and is pretty much taken the romance out of love. No, I'm just kidding, Virgos, but I do think that this is really saying that it's very important to Virgos to really make sure every T is crossed, every sentence is dotted. You really have some sense of being totally in charge of your romantic life this week, and maybe it just means that situations have turned and that maybe where you didn't have authority, maybe now you do. You know, we never understand the Virgo mind, right? Even Virgos might not. But you know, ask me, I'm a Scorpio. Do I even understand my mind? Oh, heck no. So now we go on to Libra. And I hope that wasn't too personal for Virgo. But Libra gets Temperance reversed. And of course, an earlier sign had that. I think it was Taurus, perhaps. But for the Libra, Temperance reversed is really very not good for you. Libra generally prides itself on being able to harbor and weather the emotional concerns or any concerns from a balanced point of view. And this week we'll find that Libras will feel they're a little bit out of their element. They're not able to achieve their connection to a certain gravity that allows them to understand what is at the core, the gravity, the core of emotional things. So Libras normally have been able to use their balanced nature to avoid maybe some of the emotional situations or weighing in on emotional situations. But maybe what this card is really saying is that this is the week that you're going to have to kind of stand up and defend your stance on emotional matters. Maybe it's personal relationships or relationships that you're aware of and have some amount of say over. It's just sort of saying this is a different kind of week for the Libras. They're really going to challenge themselves, I think. So now at last we move on to my own sign, the Scorpios. Scorpio gets the star. Well, Scorpios are a star according to myself, but no, for Scorpios, the star is an indication that somehow during this week, Scorpios will feel immensely fortuitous or immensely wise or attuned to the sense of a destiny or something great happening in their lives. They sort of feel that maybe epiphanies are coming to them, certain amounts of understanding, and this mostly pertains to their emotional lives. So it may be that a love or romance or a strong friendship is carried to an even more higher level, or maybe there's something about this thing happening that is promoting a destiny that goes beyond that, that maybe you find your partner is even more than what you thought your partner was. Your partner opens up a certain destiny to you that you had no idea existed to you. Or maybe it's children or other people you have strong relationships with. And for Scorpio, transformation is the name of the game. So, you know, it just sort of makes sense, doesn't it? So now we move into our last quadrant of the signs, and those are beginning with Sagittarius. So what do I have going for Sagittarius? I have the Five of Swords, and it's upright. And the Five of Swords, oftentimes, for this deck, I will say, it means a strong struggle. Emotionally speaking, there's a lot of strife perhaps going on this week for Sagittarians. They more or less feel that they have to really weather this, that it may seem that there's some amount of unfairness and hostilities going on emotionally. They have to hold true. I can't really speak more to this other than the feeling that there still is contained within this image a sense of looking for something that validates or something that redeems. And so that's what I leave you with, Sagittarians, that in your emotional matters, it's going to be a fight this week with people or situations that bring high emotions, but hanging in there will ground you and open everyone's eyes to some other realities. So now we will move on to Capricorn. And Oberon, Mr. O, myself, would like to remind everybody that both Banshee and I have Moon in Capricorn. It's one of those things that pulls us together. So what's up for Capricorn? Capricorn gets the Four of Hearts upright. That's the Four of Cups. Hearts are cups in the Enchanted Tarot. And Capricorns, they're looking at what love is offered to them. They're looking at the relationships and they're contemplating all of them to understand where this flow of love begins and goes in their life, and that all of these loves, all of these things that are emotionally charged to them have meaning, but they have to move to the top of that. They have to move to where they can look and decide clearly what love means for them. This is a time of introspection, and this may be a time really not so much of the physical or emotional connections with who we love or how we love. It may just be more of a contemplative time for Capricorns, for them to assess and put it all together, their hierarchy of love and emotional needs. So it sounds like a fascinating time for Capricorn, and I wonder if it has anything to do with the multitude of planetary aspects that are going on right now. I believe we have 6 or 7 planets in retrograde, including the very recent Mercury. So there, I said it. So then finally, moving on, not quite so finally, to Aquarius. Aquarius gets another hearts or cups, the reversed Princess of Cups. And I think Aquarians maybe are going to have a hard time when they're trying to intuit or sense things about a situation that either is approaching love or deepening a love they already have, or some sort of emotional connection to people or situations. We're not quite getting a picture, perhaps. So it could be that maybe Aquarians might find themselves a little bit more vulnerable to love in different forms, maybe possibly being vulnerable to some other emotional snares of sorts, that maybe somebody might lean on you for a favor you won't really appreciate having to do. Maybe it challenges you in certain ways. This sort of sounds Aquarian to me, at least, but I do think that it's not really a very big thing, but maybe it's just really watching out for vulnerabilities to how we resonate with somebody. It's probably somebody newer that we know, so maybe we might find out that somebody we didn't know that well, and maybe we want to keep more of a distance. That's what I kind of think there. All right, Aquarius, and now, so finally, at last, we move to Pisces. As a Scorpio, Pisces is another fellow water sign. We recently, well, my dear wife Banshee recently ran into a Pisces that we knew from a long time ago, somebody that we had a pretty strong special connection to, and we still do. So that's really wonderful. No shout outs need to happen other than that. So Pisces, you get the Four of Swords. And I think for Pisces, from an emotional point of view, we're pulling back this week. We're pulling back either from a specific emotional situation. Maybe we're not exactly in tune with our strongest mates or strongest emotional arrangements or relationships. So I think Pisces are just pulling it back a little bit. Maybe Pisces really are deluged with a lot of other things that are more physical in nature. Relationships can be physical, of course, but maybe we have to do other things this week, and so we need to focus less on emotional things. Maybe this is our week to fill in for, an emergency stretch. I keep thinking of the word for that, when we're on call. So maybe we're on call, maybe we have to do other things, maybe we have to make money, maybe we have to take charge of something else, and we just don't have time for the emotions. But next week is bound to be better. And I sure hope that's true. And I want to thank everybody for watching my show, The Emotional Exchanges. And I want to remind people that my love, my Banshee, has her own show on Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. It's more or less the physical corollary to my show. It's Banshee's Material Matters, so I hope you'll check that out. Don't forget that we live stream twice a week on Sundays from 2 to 4 p.m. and on Thursday evenings from 7 to 9 p.m. We also have a 1 hour happy hour, which is on Saturdays at 10 a.m., 10 to 11 a.m. And we just pull one card for each person to read a message of spirit, a positive message, a divine message, however you want to take that. So we'd be happy to see you there. Don't forget our YouTube channel has various other programmings, and we also have a blog that we're trying to get more active on our website tfttarotfortoday.com. So check all that out, and I hope you will subscribe and support and share and like us. Thank you very much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.